Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's old Pappy back with another one. So here we are. We got a white dragon and we're going to try out some vipers on them. Now, why am I doing this video and why am I doing it now? Well, there's been lots of chat on the Facebook pages ever since the Ao Ming and the Titans have come in asking what can be done to take these things down. And so one of the bots that really works well, of course, is this flying dragon. And so the flying dragon has good health, super fast speed. You can see here now, as soon as I press my flight ability, I went all the way from spawn over until this gap on the moon map right away. So it has two heavy weapons on the top. You can see them there. And I've just decided to, normally I would run two embers. Now, it's kind of funny because I always see on the Facebook pages, again, lots of people talking about Avengers, which are the heavy machine guns. Some people use the Glory, which are the lockdown shotguns. Some guys use the Redeemers, which are the sort of the heavier versions of the Terrans. You know what? I've always been partial to Embers. Why? Well, they have 5-second reload. Their flame goes through anything, cuts right through physical shields and all that stuff. And they're super fast on reloading. The only drawback is the range, right? It has 350 meters. So these two weapons here that you see, they've been out for a while now. They're the heavy version of what I would call the corrosion family. This family of weapons that deal not only the damage that you inflict on when the bullets, the energy bullets hit you, they also deal corrosive damage. So as you level them up, there's the number of damage for the acid corrosive effect gets higher as well. And so what happens is when you hit your enemy, it keeps doing damage even after they run and hide behind cover. And so I'm going to hit this guy here. You can see the symbol above him, that poor little nightingale. See you later, Holmes. You're dead. And it didn't take more than a couple seconds to knock down his health there. And so one of the things, if you're really wondering, well, what can I do? What can I put on these flying dragons? We're going to try out the Viper, talk about a little bit about its pros and its cons, and I'll show you a little bit of gameplay here. Basically, in this video, you're going to see this moon map footage, and then you're going to see a little bit of roam footage. And for added bonus, you're also going to see a little bit, about maybe 15 seconds of a crazy battle that took place when I dropped in with a leech into the middle of about 3 or 4 enemies and took them all down in a few seconds. In fact, that's coming up momentarily. But anyway, you can see here some of the things you need to be able to do and be able to know about this build is that if you see a leech, like right here, now see I'm going to try to hit him. You can do the acid damage to him, so that even when he is resisting, any robot that has resistance, when they are resisting your initial damage, they are still taking that acid damage. And so I'm hitting that guy, acid damage, and it even keeps going when his last stand kicked in. You saw there, the last stand, that little blue indicator showed that his last stand had kicked in, but the acid damage kept eating away at him, and eventually it killed him. And so that's a huge advantage. Now, one of the major disadvantages with this build is that reload, that 10-second reload. Okay, yeah, it's kind of funny. Here comes that crazy part with my leech here. So I have 2 flamethrowers and 2 cryos on. I use the cryos to actually enhance the damage of the flamethrowers. Anyway, you can watch here while I run down. It only lasts about 10-15 seconds. We're going to have a little bit of a battle here. I'll talk a bit more about these Vipers. So, pros of the Viper. They have 500 meter range. They're a little bit loose in terms of accuracy at the 500 to 450 meter range, but anywhere from about 400 and in, it gets very accurate, and in close range, it's completely accurate. So that's a positive. It does the pretty good damage, not the same as an Avenger, say. It doesn't do as much damage as fast as an Avenger, but it also seems to fire at least a full second faster than the Avenger in terms of using up your entire clip, which means you can get to a reload faster, which means you can go through clips faster. And so I think it kind of does work out a little bit in the end. One of the advantages that it has is this corrosive damage. You hit your enemy, it keeps damaging them even if they do run behind cover. And I have had lots of situations where I have hit a guy, he ran away, and the acid kept eating away at him, and he basically died as soon as he turned the corner. He just blew up because of my acid damage. Some of the drawbacks. Well, the reload is huge for me. I really miss the 5-second reload of the Embers. Even the Redeemer has 5-second reload, and of course Glory just constantly reloads, even though it's about to get nerfed with all the other shotguns, as everybody knows. So that is something you got to get used to. And if you notice in my gameplay, I put myself in danger here quite often because I'm not used to playing with the Vipers. I'm always playing with my Embers, and when I play with Embers, you can play a lot more aggressively. You can land right in the middle of a bunch of enemies, and you can kind of skeet and skedaddle around the battlefield while you're reloading, and you can pretty much survive 5 seconds, and then you're ready to go again. So that's something to get used to. If you were going to run this setup, I would suggest for a module that you want to use either phase shift, which of course I hate suggesting phase shift because I hate the module myself, but people use it. It works. But another one is quantum radar. And the reason why is that because so many guys now in White Dragons are using this new pilot that gives you built-in quantum radar. As soon as you take to the air, you're immediately getting hit. Even though you go into stealth, you're getting hit. And so the only way to really counter this, I don't have that new pilot, the Yang Li, I think is his name. I don't have that pilot. So I need to run quantum radar almost as a defensive measure so that when other guys attack me in a White Dragon, I can see them long enough at least to scare them away. Now, in terms of tactics, and we're almost done this battle here, we're going to move on to Rome here in probably about a minute or so, but in terms of tactics, one of the things you might want to do, one of my pieces of advice, because of that reload problem, is when you start to attack someone, for about the first 3 seconds, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, just rely on your built-in flame weapon and only fire one of the Vipers. Why, you ask, Pappy? Why are you on the crack? Why are you saying foolishness is what you're thinking. Well, if you wait 3 to 4 seconds before you start firing and then start using both, then what happens is the first weapon will run out of ammo and immediately start to reload while you still have ammunition in your other. And so what happens is as the second one starts to run out of ammunition, by that time your first weapon has now kicked back in and you get a continuous stream of acid damage, Viper weapon damage happening there. It is a huge lifesaver for multiple reasons. Number one, obviously you don't want to be caught with your pants down waiting 10 full seconds to reload when you're surrounded by a bunch of enemies. And so if you have a little bit of ammo left, you might be able to take that guy out. But another thing is psychological, right? Because this game is always, it's about the mind as well as your reflexes of your thumbs. And so lots of times you will have somebody in a really fast bot, like a Phantom or a Pursuer or a Leech, and they're hiding around the corner, and they are counting down, waiting for you to run out of ammo. They know you're firing Vipers. They know you have a 10-second reload. And so if they see both of the streams, if they see them run out of ammo, they know they have 10 full seconds to suddenly rush you and kill you. And so what I normally will do as well is that if you only have used half of your the first one has run out, but you still have half of your second weapon's ammo left, then what I normally do is once that first one runs out, they think you're out of ammo and they turn the corner and start running towards you. And that is a perfect time to either hit and hammer them with the second weapon or even just start firing. Because a lot of times, guys, they don't want to lose a bot. They're too scared, right? So they actually will put the brakes on, come to a screeching halt, and pop in behind cover, scared to death and thinking they're going to get killed, when they don't realize you only have maybe a third of the ammo left for your weapon. And so that buys you enough time for your first weapon to reload and for your flight cooldown to take effect so that you can take off and fly again. So anyway, those are some of my ideas and tips. What's my verdict? I think it's a really, really solid option. It does not do as much damage as fast as, say, the Ember, but on the other hand, it has more range than an Ember. So you can take on not only other robots, but also the Titans. You can take on the Ming from a safe distance of around 500 to 400 meters and then scoot back to safety. It doesn't do as much catastrophic damage up close as Avenger, but I got a bad feeling that Avenger's going to get nerfed in the next little while, whereas I don't think that Vipers are going to get nerfed. So it has a lot of pros, a few cons. Definitely, I would recommend it. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you have any thoughts on this, please drop me a comment. If you like what you saw, please hit the share, the like, the subscribe button. And for the rest of the video, you're going to see me flying around here, finishing off this game. And, not only in this spot, but also there's a little bit of Nightingale footage here. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the tactics. You got a little bit out of it. And until next time, I'll see you on the battlefield.